The radar navigation in a cruise missile never tires, but has one weakness. It needs geographic features to lock onto. That's why the cruise missiles in Desert Storm didn't attack Baghdad head-on. US mission planners feared their Tomahawks would get lost over the flat and featureless deserts of Iraq. So instead, they flew them the long way round, over the Zagros Mountains of Iran. Once a Tomahawk zeroes in on its target, it'll strike with extreme precision. But how does it know when to attack? In 1944, an unknown flying object attacked London. Mysteriously, it seemed to know exactly when it reached the city and just fell out of the sky. The German V1, the so-called buzz bomb.
London is doomed, said Dr. Goebbels. And Adolf Hitler...
Designed to terrorise Britain. While Londoners wondered what had hit them, an American officer was busy finding out. Hap Arnold had worked on the Kettering Bug, the world's first cruise missile, built 26 years earlier.
Hap Arnold went to London right after the D-Day invasion, and while he's staying on the suburbs in a house on the southwest part of London, about 5:30 in the morning, the first buzz bombs come over, and he's awakened by them going off, and they're hitting about 1.5 miles from where he's staying. Later in the day, he takes the opportunity to go out and actually visit one of these buzz bomb sites. And he goes to the thing, he sees the bits and pieces, and he quickly understands they've taken a bomb and stuck it on the front of some sort of an aircraft.
The Tangled wreckage harboured important clues on how this amazing weapon found its target. Hap Arnold collected all the pieces he could find and shipped them back to America.
This is the fuel tank section, right, Joe? Correct. This is what Hap Arnold would have seen, is bits and pieces like this. Actually, he even talks about seeing bits of the nose cone and the wings were pretty much gone, but the tail surface was still available to him. A number were actually captured fairly intact if the bomb didn't go off inside. So this one looks like it hit the ground pretty hard, but not hard enough to set off the bomb. It's always bigger than it looks in the pictures, isn't it?
Yes, it is. With that big dent in the top of it, too.
I guess it hit the ground hard?
Yeah.
From battered parts like these, American engineers began to reverse engineer Hitler's secret weapon. 3 weeks later, they cracked it. The V1 had a simple yet powerful jet engine which accelerated it to an incredible 640 kilometers an hour. But the most important riddle the Americans solved was how the V1 knew when to drop. A propeller at the tip of the missile turned as it moved through the air. Each revolution was counted by a mileometer in the tail section. At a preset mileage, a guillotine cut the pneumatic hoses to the rudder, locking it in position. 2 detonators then ejected a set of spoilers, disrupting the airflow under the elevators and sending the V1 into a steep dive. Nicknamed the Doodlebug, the V1 was only accurate enough to hit a city the size of London. Good enough for the Germans.
Robot bombs damaged or destroyed 800,000 English buildings in 6 weeks. Over 1 million people have been evacuated from the city of London.
The V1 had to be stopped.
The Doodlebug is coming in at 440 miles an hour, which meant and the Spitfire would only do about 350 miles an hour, I suppose, the maximum. So you would come in at 10,000 feet, and we're in a screaming dive. you would be brought down, and the radar would bring you down right onto the Doodlebug. So you're coming in, you can say it like that, and actually you would overtake the Doodlebug on the inside by about 100 miles an hour.
The pilots only had a split second to shoot. If they got it wrong, they were in trouble.
I was stupid enough to come in dead astern and open fire on the thing when I was absolutely dead astern, and the thing blew up and made an awful mess of the Spitfire. So one never did that again. You learnt that very quickly.
Terry Spencer tried another angle of attack.
I was intrigued as to whether there was a pilot in the thing or not, or what was flying these things. So I get about 2 feet in and 2 feet below the wing, and I noticed that as soon as I turned the Spitfire up like that, we would find out later on it toppled the gyro, and then the thing just spun straight in.
The papers lapped up the story. They nicknamed Terry Spencer Tip-em-up Terry, the man who'd destroyed a V1 with a flick of his wing.
Dramatic films of the guns in action at the height of the terror, spectacular pictures.
Within a few weeks, British defences got the better of the V1.
There it is, the flying bomb.
Over half the 8,000 bombs that reached Britain were brought down. The Germans eventually abandoned the weapon. Not so the Americans.
Mass production of robot bombs in American factories, an adaptation of the German V1.
American engineers tried to turn the V1 into a high-precision weapon. To no avail.
From the launching platform, a robot goes whizzing.
The American robot bombs still missed their targets by over 12 kilometers. The modern Tomahawk is 1,000 times more accurate.